चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मायं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुन् श्रीयुतापदकमलम् श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं सादं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं स्वावधूतं परिजनासाहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपीश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुष्टुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna Shashwat, thank you for the wonderful Mangala Charan recital. Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mataji, we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is the first step in God realization. And today we are on text 6, Mataji. So I hand over to you. We've just done the Mangala Charan, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept our humble obeisances on behalf of everybody in this group who have joined and about to join. Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna-prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin-niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatatishatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Srinivata Swagata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayanta Stobhya Bhadrani Vibhumati Sudrat Sadam Nashyaprayeshu Abhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtike. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So this second chapter is a very technical chapter. I'm seeking all of your blessings to ensure that I convey or I speak the right words at the right time. Whatever is told by our acharyas and Srila Prabhupada, those are the words that should be uttered by me. So I definitely need your blessings, dear devotees. It's a very philosophical chapter, and I definitely want to try my best to convey everything that Srila Prabhupada and our Acharyas have given us in the form of nectar, so that we are able to understand again the Aishwarya of Krishna through this particular canto and the glories of Krishna. So let's all try our best to listen carefully. At the same time, let me also pray at your lotus feet that I deliver the right messages of our Acharyas and Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, dear devotees. All right, so with that, we will get started now. So let's go through the verses one by one like we do, so that we get the flow of what we have done throughout the second canto, first chapter. So the verse number 6 is what is today's verse, but we'll be looking at the background to kind of understand the flow as well. All right, dear devotees, so let's get started. Let me also open Veda's 1 minute. Kindly bear with me, Mataji. So as far as the connection and how it is going to flow, that's what we'll be seeing now. So now, as you all can understand, Sukadev Parikshit Maharaj is asking question to Sukadev Goswami. Please let me know what is the duty of a person who's about to die. For all people in general, what should be remembered, chanted, and glorified? Like this is what he wants to know. So, my dear Guru of all gurus, I'm asking you, please tell me what is the highest perfection, and to get that complete perfection, what are we supposed to do? To attain that highest perfection, what kind of activity we should be following, should be performing, what kind of sadhana we should follow, and at all times, what are people supposed to do? And especially for a person who's about to die, what he should do at all times. Keeping himself in the mind and keeping himself in the people around him, he's asking this question. So these are the two questions asked by Parikshit Maharaj to our Sukadev Goswami. What is complete perfection? What are the means or sadhana to attain the complete perfection? Again, why he's asking this question? You have to ask, isn't it? Why is he asking this question? If we were asked this question, why he's asking this question? So amongst the assembled stages, some said, oh, my dear king, you should perform karma. You should not go, you should actually go to Swarga and enjoy there. Some said, no, not what karma. There is no time to perform karma. Yajna is a very elaborate process. There is no time for all that. Yajna is like, you need a lot of time for it. And pure ingredients are required. So you can't perform karma. What you should perform, Parikshit? You should perform jnana. See, he is already a renounced person, isn't it? Now he has left everything. And then some said, jnana cannot be performed just by renunciation. See, you did not do proper renunciation. What you did was a forced renunciation. It was not a natural renunciation. So you cannot practice jnana. Like that, some people were discouraging. And Parikshit Maharaj, he doesn't have so much time. He has only 7 days. So they said, oh, you know what? You should perform yoga. This way, you're going to attain perfection. And how will he practice yoga? I mean, so in 7 days, he has to practice and perfect yoga. This is what some people said. And then some said, oh, bhakti is what you should perform. Bhakti, that is the one, that is what is going to give you perfection. Some people said that. Like this, we had varied group of sages who are giving different opinions, saying karma, saying jnana, saying yoga, and then finally bhakti also some people said. And then when somebody said, yeah, you have to practice bhakti, he was like, there's no facilities to do deity worship and all those things. So different people are coming with a different solution. At that point, he was confused. Then, understanding the predicament of Parikshit Maharaj, they all prayed, oh my God, we are all giving different opinions to him. It seems he's getting wrong solutions. And he doesn't have much time. He's a great soul. He should be given a proper direction. They prayed for a person to come and do the needful. That is when our Sukadev Goswami, our hero, came into the picture. As if answering the prayers of all the assembled personalities in the assembly, he came there. And then Parikshit Maharaj, at that time, we spoke about how he accepted Sukadev Goswami as his master, making him sit on a high asan. He's accepting his inquiry. So, my dear sir, he's asking him, please tell me how I can attain complete perfection. Complete perfection is the word he used, dear devotees, not some intermediate perfection. Intermediate perfection means you can include Swarga, Brahman, Vaikuntha and all that. But he's asking for complete perfection, right? That is the word that has to be noted. What are the different activities and sadhana that I should perform? And now he's also putting forward this question. What are the different prohibitions that the sadhana should contain? That also you tell me. It's like I want to know the do's and I also want to know the don'ts. I want to know the instructions and I also want to know about the prohibitions. Oh Master, please tell me. What must I hear, chant and remember and worship? What should I not chant, remember and worship? What are the do's and what are the don'ts? Please tell me. This is what, when it comes to the essence of the 4 questions, what is the complete perfection? What is the means to attain it? What are the different practices I should do for the sadhana, which are the do's? And what are the regulations or the don'ts of that sadhana? Okay, dear devotees, the 4 questions are answered in a reverse order. In the next 2 chapters by Sutta Goswami, it will be answered. So because, see, when you look at it, some sages said karma, some said jnana, some said yoga, some said sadhana, some said so many things like this, they said. Amongst the 4 sadhanas, which one stands where? What is the relative position of each of these? This is being indicated for us in the coming chapters. The position of bhakti with other processes has been established by Sukadev Goswami at the very beginning of the conversation. This is what we are going to see. At the very beginning, which is established, superiority of bhakti is going to be established. And then he is going to talk about the other angas as well. But very fact, bhakti is superior, which is going to be very clearly told by him in the next few verses. Otherwise, one may have doubts. Isn't it? If you look at this chapter as such, it has got 37 verses. Okay. So when it comes to the first 11 verses, Sukadev Goswami answers Parikshit Maharaj in brief by establishing the superiority of bhakti. This is what the first 11 verses say. And then if you look at 12 to 14, it talks about the quality of life matters and not quantity. 15 to 39 talks about the fact Sukadev Goswami speaks on another popular opinion of Bhakti Mishra Gyan. Bhakti Mishra Gyan. That is what we are going to see from 15 to 39. So if you look at how it is split and what are the different topics we are going to take, it is going to be really interesting. Specifically, 15 to 21 will talk about the point of cultivating detachment, spiritualizing our mind, and gradually attaining devotional service. And then 22 to 39 will talk about, okay, meditation on the gross universal form with devotional service as the ultimate goal. So these will be seen in the coming verses. But I just wanted to sort of give you an overview of what's coming up. Now, the first verse that we'll be seeing today, that is, it's talking about the fact that Sukadev is saying, oh, wow, what an excellent question you have asked, my dear Parikshit. Your question is the highest among such questions. Among all questions, your question is highest. It is beneficial for the people and it is approved by the authority. Your question itself is the best question. The question itself will offer auspiciousness to the entire world. All the Atma with the real sages, I mean, all of them, they have approved this question. These sages, they all approved your question. They have expressed their sammata. That is the question. That question has been approved by everyone here. This question is the best of all that one is supposed to hear. So he's actually glorifying the fact that Sukadev Goswami has posed such a brilliant question, such a nice question. It's not a material question. This is approved by the sages present in the assembly, who are the knowers of the Atma. Because for what purpose have they come here? They have come here to know that Atma. And this question is so relevant here. What is to be heard? What is, see, he asked, what is perfection? What is the means to attain the perfection? What is to be heard, chanted, remembered, and worshipped? And what is not to be chanted, remembered, and worshipped? These are the different questions. And now Sukadev Goswami was rejoiced with this question. This is the best question. There is nothing better than this. There is superlative degree that is used. Samatha means there is nothing better than this question. The question asked by you is beneficial to the people in general. The question corresponds, it's going to give a lot of spiritual benefit. And, this is how he's praising. These sages, they all come from Makarloka, Jnanaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, all the way they have come here. They also want to know about the highest perfection and how to attain that highest perfection. That is why this question is the best question, isn't it? That is why it's the best question. It's going to benefit the people of this entire universe. If you have asked some ordinary question, they would have just got up and they would have left. Since they all continue to sit here, that means they have approved your question. This is the point, dear devotees. A very beautiful kind of realization we get in the first verse as to how important is this question. Even the questions asked by the devotees, whatever they are asking, should be heard, chanted, and remembered. This is the best question. So whatever question he is asking, as devotees, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to just meditate just on the question itself. Right? This is the point. The ultimate question, and this question alone has to be heard, chanted, remembered, and that will make people successful. Furthermore, by hearing the answer given by me to that question, you will become successful. This is what Sukadev Goswami is telling our dear Parikshit Maharaj. By hearing the answer given by me to that question that you posed, you will become successful. So what does it mean? We are going to hear, chant, and remember not only the question, but also the answer that is going to be given by our Sukadev Goswami. A very important point that is being spoken here in this verse. So this is the benefit of Krishna Katha. This is the benefit of asking making proper inquiries. The speaker gets the most benefit, right? The questioner gets more benefit and the hearer gets a general benefit. So there are three categories here. The general audience is general. The questioner is better. The one who answers is the best. So like that it is. So now our question has been posed, dear devotees. We are just looking forward. What is the answer? Isn't it? What is the answer? O King. So the verse, I think when it comes to I think there is more spoken in the first verse itself. There is another verse that is being quoted from chapter 4.22.11 to tell about the fact the assembly of devotees, of hearers and listeners, somebody who's hearing, somebody is listening, somebody is speaking, because in that assembly, the discussion of the question and answers, it benefits both the parties. That is what is being conveyed from the fourth canto. to the speaker, to the listener, and the inquirers. Everyone benefits by the discussion and the answers. So somebody has to make a proper inquiry and there is proper answering. Then all people, they get benefited. When Prithu Maharaj made an inquiry to Sanat Maharaj saying this, he will answer that. This is what is being spoken. When Prithu made an inquiry and Sanat Maharaj gave an answer, this is what was the response. Like all of them get benefited by this discussion and answers. Later it will be said that the highest perfection is attaining the lotus feet of the Lord. The answer to the highest perfection, I mean, the question that was posed, what is highest perfection? It is attaining the lotus feet of the Lord. And that is accomplished by what? It is accomplished by hearing and chanting the names and pastimes of the Lord. And what is the means of attaining the highest perfection? Which is chanting and hearing. That will lead to smaran and others. When we chant and when we hear nicely, we cannot remember, right? We have to force ourselves to remember to Krishna. When will remembrance come spontaneously? When we are absorbed in that process of just contemplating about that subject matter, when we are constantly thinking about it, absorbed in it, at that time only remembrance will come. Remembrance is not an easy thing. Smaran is it's really far ahead in the life cycle of a devotional service. What we can try is just chant and hear and hear and hear, and then remembrance will come. That is what is Antakalesha. So when we are in the deathbed, how will remembrance come? When we are practicing it constantly in our lives, in our day-to-day lives, then remembrance will come. Okay, dear devotees. So this is the first verse. The second verse is if you look at the second verse, it's saying, O King Rajendra, there are thousands of topics that can be heard by those who do not inquire about the goal of life. Those who are attached to the house, they commit 5 types of violence. So there are thousands of topics to be heard by the people of this world. What kind of people of this world? What are the kind of people we are talking about? These are people who don't want to see, who don't want to inquire about Atma Tattva or the nature of the Atma, about the purpose for our life, not even about the goal of life. They don't want to inquire about these topics. For that kind of people, how many topics are there in this world? There are thousands of topics to hear. And those who are attached to the house, what do they commit? They commit 5 types of violence. What kind of people are not interested in Atma Tattvam? If you ask that question, those people who consider themselves Griheshu, who are the leaders of the house, who are the masters of the house, they are only interested in what? Household happiness. And being attracted to household happiness, they continue to perform 5 types of sinful activities, living in that house. Atma Tattva means what? Who am I? What should I do? What is the goal of my life? This is what is, so when you say goal, it's not the immediate future we are looking at. Oh, you know what? I'm a BTech student. I'm studying BTech first year, second year. If you are asking about my future, will I get into US in a good university? Not this kind of question. It's not the immediate future we are talking about. It's all material. Who am I? Atma Tattva. Who I am really? The spiritual nature is what we are talking about. It's not the material nature. How am I going to get deliverance? Those living in the house, household activities and absorbed in that household activities, will they ever inquire about or ask such questions? Those people they consider themselves Griheshu. They will never ask these type of questions. Who I am, who I am, what is the future going? What is my future? When will I get deliverance? What should I do to get deliverance? They don't ask these questions. They will ask, oh, how can I make more money? How can I increase my bank balance? How can I get multiply my money? How can I get happiness with this material enjoyments that I have? Where can I go for vacation? Right? These are the questions they will pose. They are very much attached to the household activities. They are absorbed in the household activities so much to the point that they commit 5 kind of sins by staying in the house. Just by staying in the house, can we commit 5 kind of sinful activities? Yes. knowingly or unknowingly we are committing these sinful activities, dear devotees. So there are names given to these 5 kinds of sinful activities. Ukal, meaning you are making a powder using a wooden grinder motor or a stone. What happens? You are making a powder. At that time, what happens? You are in the process killing the bacteria or the insects. Then chakki. There will be rice powder will come out of rice, sugar powder will come out of sugar, dal powder will come out of dal. So it's not that liquid grinder, but we are talking about the dry grinder. Through that, some insects will be destroyed. And then, so the earlier days we use wooden stove. When a wooden fire is used to start that wooden stove, then insects are going to die. So because of cooking, this is going to happen, and you can't avoid cooking. And then matka. Matka is in the olden days we all use matka, not the copper or the silver vessels. And then jadu. During cleaning, during grooming, then a lot of insects die. So in this way, helplessly, knowingly or unknowingly, we commit these 5 kind of sinful activities. Everybody commits. And what is recommendation? The recommendation is that for these people who are sakama karma yogis, you have to perform the 5 kind of panchashulina yajna. 5 kind of purificatory rites has to be performed. For whom? For sakama karma yogis. But for us, Srila Prabhupada said, Japa Yajna will accomplish all other sacrifices. If we do the Japa Yajna properly, that is chanting the holy names of the Lord, then all type of sinful activities are taken care of. Our procedure, that's why I made a distinction between Sakama Karma Yogis and devotees here. Hope you are able to understand that point, that we are committing 5 kind of sinful activities, and the recommendation that is given for a Sakama Karma Yogi is that he has to do those 5 kind of purificatory processes. Okay, and now why are we talking about it? If you were to connect it back, we are talking about, oh, these people are so attached to their household and they are having thousands of topics to be heard, and they are also committing lots of violence through this. Okay, so now that is the inference that we are having, and moving on, we will be talking about verse 3. So from here, we'll try to go a little bit deep and understand, so that when it comes to 6, you'll clearly understand what is going on. So now, dear devotees, it is verse number 3. So just, yeah. So now we talked about how life is spent. In one sense, again, you know, there is extended selfishness. Some people have extended selfishness. In some cases, if it is not properly channelized, it may become very focused selfishness. Focused selfishness and extended selfishness. What is this? Focused selfishness means my room, my food, my diet, my time, my classes, my morning program. This is what is focused selfishness. Even focused selfishness, you know, if it is not properly channelized, it's not good. Okay. At least in Grahastha life, if you look at people in Grahastha life, they have extended selfishness, meaning that selfishness gets extended to the family members also. So, you know, this is, say, for example, you know, what happens through this selfishness, be it focused or be it extended, the life is spent uselessly. Lifespan is wasted by sleeping at night, because night is unsuitable for action, and whatever actions that are, I mean, lifespan is decreased during the day by desiring to accumulate objects. This is what is being said. For without objects, one cannot either perfect karma nor support family members, because in Karma Yoga, it is obliged that we have to support family. So again, the point I'm reading again, you just read here, you listen here carefully, so I'll explain you what that means. For without objects, one cannot either perfect karma nor support family members, because in Karma Yoga, one is obliged to support family. As I told you, in Karma Yoga, one is obliged to support a family. Does it mean in Bhakti Yoga, one is obliged to support a family? this distinction has to be understood. Does anybody know when it comes to family, as per Karma Yoga, you are obliged to support a family. But when it comes to Bhakti Yoga, are we also obliged to support a family? Is that what our Bhakti Yoga also says? Anybody wants to answer?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, go ahead, Lakshmi.
Yes, Mataji, we also should
We also
oblige
should.
to support the family, but in Krishna consciousness way, that Krishna has given this family to me, and everybody has Paramatma in them, and I am a servant to them, and I am serving my family for Krishna's sake. Yeah.
Yes. So, as you rightly said, Mataji, in Karma Yoga, we talk about Grahastha Dharma, we talk about Pitru Dharma. There is a karmic obligation. In the path of Bhakti, there is no karmic obligation to take care of the family, but we accept it in the mood of Anukulyasya Sankalpa. See, if we take care of our family, as Mataji said, they become good devotees, or if they are already devotees, their devotional service can be supported. They also can start doing Vaishnava Seva. God has given me this opportunity so that I can make my children good devotees, good human people. So in that mood, we support the family. Anukulyasya Sankalpa. But there is no karmic obligation to take care of the family. But that is what is anukul or favorable for our Krishna consciousness. And it's very critical. So therefore, one should not feel in Bhakti Yoga, there is absolutely no obligation to support the family. There is no karmic obligation. But if one does not do the duty of a family member, one will, again, we need to understand there is no karmic implication, but then it is Anukulyasya Sankalpa. In the end, it may not be, if you're not supporting your family or if you're doing anything against your family, it will not even be favorable for your own practice of bhakti. To keep your bhakti going in the long run, it will be unfavorable for you if you're doing some activities which are not conducive to your bhakti. Okay, very important. You need to understand the distinction here what is karmic obligation for a devotee. I mean, there's no karmic obligation, but then we do certain things which are anukul or favorable for our Krishna consciousness. And that way, we are nicely situated in our process of bhakti. So what is happening to these kind of people? Such people, they spend their night and day in this way. How are they spending their day? What is how they are uselessly spending their day? What they are doing? The life is wasted at night in sleeping or in sex enjoyment. And life is wasted during the day by desiring for material objects or supporting family members. Now, a very important question comes. So they are spending the night and day like this. Now, I wish to hear from you your thoughts as to what it could mean when it's mentioned lifespan is decreased during the day by desiring to accumulate objects. How is the lifespan decreased by accumulating objects? Would anybody like to share your thoughts? How is lifespan decreased? Oh, I'm also living for 100 years or 30 years or 40 years, whatever that is. How is my lifespan decreasing just because I'm accumulating objects? Would anybody like to share their thoughts?
Hare Krishna Mataji. I think the rat life that we live is running around. So the more we run, we use our breath faster. And in this way, our lifespan decreases. I don't know if I'm right, Mataji.
So Mataji, what did you say? Your voice was echoing a little bit.
Sorry. I'm telling, this kind of life that we have, like karmis have, they just run around. They don't care for their health. Sometimes, the breathing goes so fast, this anxiety and running around, that our lifespan diminishes.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yes, Bhaktaji, that's one of the Prabhupada's purport. He talks about how when, say for example, we expend our energy, even in that process, what happens is we are breathing, and then that's what you're talking about. And that breathing, the number of breaths determines the person's lifetime, which is seen in Prabhupada's purports. That's what Mataji is talking about. So here, wasted or decreased means, let's say if I perform some particular duties, if I don't perform that duty, I end up doing other things then my life is wasted. You know, someone can't say, oh, I went to office, but I had a nice nap for 4 or 5 hours. Like that, one says, then the useful time, that work time is decreased only because he's not doing his work. So it may not necessarily reduce one's lifespan, but what we are saying here is that the useful time, the time that could be used for Krishna consciousness is gone. This way, their lifespan becomes decreased. This is the point that is being conveyed through our purport. What it means is that the time is lost, meaning it's not utilized in Krishna consciousness. So it's not useful. Like you go to the office, you don't perform your work, you just take a 5 to 6 hour nap. That time is wasted. Even though you go to your office, that time is wasted. Like
yes,
that.
Mataji, but also we see that the yogis, they just sit, right? So they can control the breathing. They have a very slow lifestyle. They just sit and they keep the control the breathing. And in this way, they get more breath, so they can live longer and they can live their life whenever they want. Whereas the karmi is always running around. In this way, your answer also is very good, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Mataji, absolutely. That's also mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in one of the purports as to when it comes to breathing, how we expend our energy, the number of breaths we take determines a person's lifespan. So how we have to carefully use our breath. So when we are in anxiety, when we are in tension, when there is kama, krodha, mada, matsarya, what happens through that process? Our lifespan is getting decreased. That's what Mataji is trying to convey through her point. So, so the point here that should be taken when we say life is wasted, any time that is spent in any material activity is a waste of time because we are not utilizing that in Krishna's service. That's the point. Okay, dear devotees, now we will move on to verse number 4. So the third one, so we saw first, we saw second, we saw third. We are able to see the transition, right? I want you to clearly follow along the chapter here so that you are clearly able to understand. Sometimes some technicalities will come also. So that time you should be prepared to handle it because there is a flow here that we need to follow through. That's why I'm trying to make sure that you all get that flow. Okay, so let's move on. Number 4. So now, so he thinks this is what is going on with him. So now the fourth verse talks about the fact he's deeply attached to whom? He's deeply attached to his body, his children, his wife, who are like army giving him protection. Again, he's having an army, and with that, he's having so much strength. Yes, these people are there to protect me. Though they are false, they are all false protection. Okay, he sees their destruction, meaning he sees his children, wife, and parents all are going to have their destruction. He sees it, but he does not see it. He sees their destruction, but he does not see it, meaning he's not able to understand that. He thinks these are my army. As long as I surround myself with these personalities, I am very safe. In reality, it is false. They are all false. Even though they are all false army. Asat Atma Sena. Because they are themselves temporary. You are the son of your father, but you could not protect your father from leaving. Your father was your grandfather. You know, there was grandfather for you, but his father, your father could not stop your grandfather from leaving this world. So, why do you think that this is false army? Your son will protect you. Your wife will protect you. Your body is not going to deteriorate. He sees their destruction, but he does not see it. This is what actually is the case. This is the nature of material absorption, dear devotees. You know, we do see those people, we do hear people who have been browsing addicts, isn't it? Have you heard of these people? They are becoming so addicted to playing the computer games, compulsive browsing. I cannot just keep my hands off my computer in the internet all the time. There are documented cases of these people. They forget to eat, they forget to sleep, they eventually give up their body by browsing only. There are such extreme examples. What are these kind of people? They can't see reality. So This is all happening. Why? Due to mode of ignorance. The mode of ignorance is lack of clarity. You're bewildered. So when we become attached to this kind of things, it is sort of giving us a sense of false security. The biggest problem is the sense of false security. Why? Because the false security discourages us or does not sufficiently encourages us to seek the real security. Real security, to seek the lotus feet of Krishna, to seek shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. This is real security. But being absorbed in this material, because of being bewildered, what happens? We just hold on to this false security very tightly. This is what is going to protect me. This is what is going to save me. My son should take care of me when I'm old. I am 60 years already. Where is my son? When is he going to come and give me food? Who's there to take care of me otherwise? Right? All this happens. It's just feeling of false security. No. Krishna is my protector. Krishna is my maintainer. When we develop this Dhrida Shraddha, then there is no need for, thing is, we are there in the family, but our attachment should be towards Krishna. We should understand he is our ultimate protector. Be it what may come to me, be it I may lose my legs, be it I lose my hands, no problem. Krishna will protect me. He will feed me. He will give me a morsel of food so I can perform Krishna Seva. This must be the mood. This must be the determination. This must be the faith that we should try to aspire for. Nothing less, nothing less. No. So again, a very beautiful point is being conveyed through the sloka. So, so there's this verse, right? Yashaham anugrahanami. In the 10th canto, Krishna says sometimes when a sadhaka surrenders to Krishna, he still takes the false securities away from this devotee. Sometimes Krishna pulls the rug below their feet. He shakes their false security so that because of this great obstacle in his life, he's able to seek the true security. That is actually what happens is he becomes complacent in the false securities this world offers. So Krishna just shakes him a little bit. He wants to show him this mercy. This may shake all the false securities, and then he will understand, yes, Krishna is the only shelter. As Prahlad Maharaj also says in 7th canto, parents are not the real protectors of the child. The doctors are not the real protectors. They are not complete protectors. When I say real protectors, of course, they do play a role when it comes to protection, but they're not the complete protectors. What it means is how much we trust and how much we depend on them, how much we develop a healthy internal life of dependence on Krishna. This matters. The Asat Atmasena should not actually make us complacent in taking shelter of Krishna. This is the point. Our dependence should only be on Krishna. The body and other things and other relationships with the bodies and other objects, even though they are not proper and incapable of saving one, since they are material, we should understand they would be destroyed by time. He sees the death of these people, so he can't take it for granted. It's permanent because, that is what it is. So we have to see reality as is and understand. When we understand internally who we are, then our dependence will only go to the lotus feet of shelter, which lotus feet of Krishna. This will come with time, dear devotees. Till then, we need to at least understand theoretically that, yes, these are things that are there temporarily in this world. I am here for a certain reason, and what is my goal? That has to be clearly understood. And when we march, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Ekeha Kurunandana. So there should be that complete single-pointed focus of what our goal is and work towards that goal. That goal cannot be replaced. The goal is to do Krishna Seva and attain the lotus feet of Krishna and always be pleasing to dear devotees, Guru and Vaishnava. So this goal has to be clearly kept in our mind, and it can be replaced with the temporary goals. Oh, I should become a manager. I should construct a house. All these are not at all goals. Are only Ekaya. That's why I said Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. This is what is being conveyed through this verse from the third. This is the 4th verse, I believe. Right? Is it the 4th or 3rd verse? It's the 4th verse. Okay, so this is what is being discouraged here. How we should not be attached on material things which are having temporariness. To the extent we engage ourselves in devotional service, that is the 9 limbs of bhakti, to that extent we will also have our faith increased. To the extent we perform and be involved in those 9 limbs, there are also 64 angas that Rutu Goswami talks about. And then that way, what happens is, if we perform devotional service with this mood of servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord, that way we will be able to conquer time. Each and every activity, when we are always thinking about Krishna and bringing Krishna in the picture, we'll be able to conquer time. So the activities that we spend during the day, that way becomes, all of them becomes a spiritual activity eventually, if we are able to think and bring Krishna into picture all the time. So we try our best to make it Krishna conscious, be conscious of Krishna all the time. We try our best. And then we are having this material body. So with the material body, whatever we can perform, we perform, because we need some sleep. And that sleep is also necessary so that you get back to that fresh mood again, to again perform Krishna consciousness. So that is the way you think of sleep also. But when it comes to pure devotees, they think about Krishna even during that 1 hour or half an hour sleep. They get Krishna in the dreams. They think about Krishna all the time. Their devotional service is never broken, dear devotees, when it comes to pure devotees. This is the point. Now we will move on to our 5th verse. I know we have 2 more verses. So in this verse, he's actually creating a contrast. He's saying, "O descendant of King Bharata, therefore the Lord who is Paramatma, Bhagavan, and the Lord of power, Sarvatma, Bhagavan, Ishvara, he should be heard, glorified, and remembered by those desiring freedom from fear." So the question itself is, so he's clearly telling what should be done and what should not be done. Initially, we talked about what should not be done. That's what we talked about. We talked about, he's wasting his time by doing sex and spending his activity by acquiring objects during the day. So those activities should not. So he kind of helping us understand, yes, what should not be done, and now what should be done. What should be done? What should not be done? We spoke about the point that one should not waste one's time in the pursuit of karma and the goals of karma, because that wastes one's life. And here it is being said, therefore, do not perform karma, because why? If you perform karma, what happens? It's binding you to this material world. Oh, you are born in the family of Bharata. In this 5th verse, he's saying, the Lord, he is the one who's supposed to be heard by the person desiring fearlessness. If you don't want to have fear, then Lord should be heard. He's the person who has to be heard. Absence of him, then you will get fear. So the person who wishes to be fearless, he should definitely worship the Supreme Lord. He should definitely be heard. Lord Hari is the subject here. So now there are 3 modifiers that are used in this verse. If you look at the verse, it talks about Sarvatma, it talks about Bhagavan, and it talks about Ishvara. Through these, what is being inferred is 3 types of bhakti is being indicated. Sarvatma, Bhagavan, and Ishvara. Now we will understand how 3 types of bhakti is being indicated through these 3 words. Okay, so 3 modifiers. What are the 3 modifiers? Sarvatma, Bhagavan, and Ishvara. So the first one, it talks about the Lord who is Paramatma, that is Sarvatma, should be heard about by the person desiring liberation and freedom from fear. So here it is important to understand the different personalities that we are talking about. So those who practice bhakti with a desire for liberation, as we know, Krishna, in the end of 7th chapter, Krishna talks about these practitioners of bhakti who worship the Lord predominantly why they worship the Lord? They just want to escape from the troubles this material world gives them. That's why they want liberation. I don't want any kind of dealings with this material world and the people of this material world. I just want to be liberated. Yeah, moksha kamis. They just want to escape what? Birth, death, old age, and disease. That is why they practice bhakti. This is the first one, Sarvatma. Okay, second one is referring to Bhagavan. It is referring to Bhagavan, the beautiful son of Nanda, should be heard about by the person who is greedy for becoming fixed in his devotion. So what does it mean? This is addressing people who are Raganuga Bhaktas. So the word Sarvatma is encouraging people, those who are desiring liberation. Bhagavan is encouraging people who are Raganuga practitioners, and it's also encouraging those who are practicing Vaidhi Sadhana. Let's see how. You are able to understand Sarvatma, Bhagavan, and Ishvara. So first we spoke about Sarvatma. Those are practitioners who perform bhakti with the goal of desiring liberation. Now we are talking about people who are see, what are these people? They Bhagavan. Bhagavan means a beautiful son of Nanda. That is those people. The second Bhagavan aspect, if somebody is worshipping, then it is nothing but a beautiful form of Nanda, and he should be heard by the person who is greedy for becoming fixed in his devotion. So when it comes to Raganuga Bhaktas, what is the thing? So, as we know, Bhaga means opulence. Van means possessor. Bhagavan means one who possesses this beautiful opulence, right? So, the son of Nanda should be heard about by the person who is greedy for what? For becoming fixed in devotion. So, for Raganuga Bhaktas, what is the fear? We all know. For Mokshakami, his fear is, oh, will I get liberation? He says, don't worry, hear about Hari. He is Paramatma. By hearing about him, you will realize him and you will attain the liberation. Raganuga Bhakta thinks, what is his fear? Oh, will I develop love for Krishna? Will I become completely attracted towards Krishna and establish relationship with him? Sukadeva Goswami says, no, don't worry, he is Bhagavan. He possesses all kinds of opulence and charm, and you will definitely be attracted to him in your heart. And Prabhupada writes, one will be dragged. One will be forcibly dragged to success because of Bhagavan's worship. Bhagavan, by his beautiful opulences, is going to do what? He's going to forcibly drag you to success. Be fearless. Like this, Sukadeva Goswami is telling whom? The Raganuga Sadhana. Now, what is the fear of Vaidhi Sadhaka? The fear of Vaidhi Sadhaka is Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jivva Vegam, Mudara Tvasta Vegam. So this is the fear of this Sadhaka, Vaidhi Sadhaka. He is thinking, will I be able to control my uncontrolled mind and senses? That is the fear he is having. When will I be able to control my uncontrolled senses and mind? This is the fear of a Vaidhi Sadhaka. He says, don't worry. Ishvara, the Lord is Ishvara. He is the Ishvara. He controls this whole universe. For him to control your uncontrolled mind is not a big deal because he is controlling this whole universe. Do you think it's a problem for him to control your uncontrolled mind and senses? Not at all. He is Rishikesha. He is the Lord of the Rishis. So don't worry. By this, what is happening? Sarvatma, he is addressing those people who are having the goal of liberation. Bhagavan, he is addressing those people who are Raganuga Bhaktas. And Ishvara, being the controller of this universe, he is going to control your uncontrolled senses. He is addressing the Vaidhi Sadhakas. Srila Sukadeva Goswami is telling there is no need to be fearful. Anybody who is aspiring liberation, no fear. There is no need to be fearful for a Raganuga Bhakta. There is no fear for a Vaidhi Sadhaka also. This is the point that's being, there's more to this particular verse, but let's pause here. Let's go on to the 6th verse. So 6th verse talks about the fact for a person in Jnana, Yoga and Karma, gaining such a birth with remembrance of Narayana while rejecting the other processes is the best. So now very carefully, please listen to this. We've been, I'll try to complete in 5 minutes. So Sukadeva Goswami retorts back. You asked me, what is the means of attaining the highest goal? Did you not ask me? You asked me the highest goal. If you asked me, if you want to answer, the thing is, you ask for the highest goal. And if you ask me the highest goal, then I have to say, what is the highest goal? There may be Karma Yogis, there may be Jnana Yogis, there may be Ashtanga Yogis. But if they want to attain the highest goal, then Ante, they have to put full stop to all other practices that they are performing. Narayana Smriti, they should take up the path of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam of Lord Hari. That is what is going to give you the highest goal. Since you asked me what is the highest goal, I have to tell whatever is the highest goal. Because through Karma Yoga, you cannot attain the highest goal. By Jnana Yoga, you can't attain the highest goal. By Ashtanga Yoga, no way, you can't attain the highest goal. So it's like asking, how can I cross the ocean? Tell me what is the means to cross the ocean. By catching hold of a dog's tail, is swimming, swimming in the ocean, you can cross the ocean. This is an inappropriate question. What it means is, how do I attain prema? By following Karma Yoga. The answer is, you have to give up Karma Yoga, man. You have to start practicing Bhakti fully. And they put a full stop to your Karma Yoga and start practicing Bhakti. That is the only way. How do I attain prema? By practicing Jnana Yoga? Oh, you have to put a full stop to Jnana Yoga and start practicing Bhakti alone. That is the only way. How do I attain prema? By practicing Ashtanga Yoga? Oh my God, you have to put a full stop to that Ashtanga Yoga and start practicing Bhakti Yoga. That is the only way. Now, Parikshit Maharaj will say, you have given a narrow path for me. What is this? Sukadev, you're just telling me to practice Bhakti, very narrow path. No other path. So you're giving me a very narrow path. And Sukadev Goswami is retorting back to say, see, you did not ask about various goals. Did you ask me about various goals? You asked me for what is the highest goal. Highest goal means highest process, not the compromised process of Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga. No, you have to essentially put a full stop to all these things and actually start practicing Bhakti Yoga. This is the only way. So he says, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam is the only way. No karma, no jnana, no yoga. You have to put full stop to all these things. And that is the meaning of ante, while rejecting the other processes. So therefore, that remembrance while rejecting the other processes is the best. This is the point. So, jnana karmadi anavrutam, that is the topmost. Bhakti which is not covered by karma or jnana. So if a person is doing karma or jnana yoga or others, they cannot attain the highest goal. The highest goal is prema. So by the association of devotees of say jnana yogis, karma yogis or ashtanga yogis, they qualify to understand there are different processes. By the association of devotees, what happens to these jnana yogis, karma yogis and ashtanga yogis? They get to understand the highest goal of life, which is Krishna prema. And after that, they do not perform these karma and jnana. By that process, they become successful, which is what is expressed in this verse. The jnanis, the yogis and karmis, to attain, if they are fortunate, then they come in the association of devotees. They accumulate Agyata Sukriti, develop faith in Bhakti. Of course, this Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, they cannot become successful by themselves. For that also Bhakti is needed. And now, if you are looking for the highest goal, these type of yogis that are there, they have to give up these other things such as Karma, Jnana and Ashtanga and just focus on Bhakti to attain the highest goal, which is Krishna Prem. Pure Bhakti is remembrance of Narayana, right? We all know pure Bhakti, the remembrance of Narayana appears as in the case of Kumaras who gave up Jnana and took up to Bhakti, right? Yeah, they gave up the four Kumaras, they gave up Jnana and took up to Bhakti, pure devotional service. Navayogendras, they gave up Yoga and took up to Bhakti. We know Prachina Barhishat, he gave up what? He gave up the path of karma and took up to Bhakti. By the association of whom? By the association of Narada Muni. It can happen only by the association of devotees. The Kumaras by the mercy of Jaya and Vijaya. And Navayogendras probably by the association of Rishabhadev. Prachina Barhishat by the association of Narada Muni. They all got Bhakti. In the end, obviously what is being conveyed here is that they should not be practicing other processes in order to get the highest goal. Are you all able to understand? That is the essence, or that's the point that is being spoken. If they are able to remember Narayana at the time of death, that is perfection. But that kind of remembrance can happen when? Only when you have practiced bhakti throughout your life. That remembrance, as I told you, is very, very difficult. Andi Narayana Smriti can happen only when you practice Krishna. Only when you practice Krishna consciousness all your life long. It is not an easy thing. We cannot remember Krishna at the time of death if we have not practiced Krishna consciousness. How can we remember Krishna? If your mind, oh, let me do this material activity, let me enjoy materially, let me also worship spiritually, then how will that remembrance come? No, it will not. That's why Dhrida Shraddha is where we need to focus. How we can develop faith. How you should associate with us devotees who are having that faith, who are at least aspiring for that kind of faith. This is who we need to associate, or we need to hear from such devotees who have such conviction. So with this, we will conclude, dear devotees. I know I went 2 minutes over, but just wanted to complete this verse. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripasindubhya eva devacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and our Acharyas. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for this wonderful session and revising all the verses and then putting it in perspective. That is why we really love your class. Are there any questions or comments from the group? I know we have exhausted our time, but Mataji, I have one quick question. Mataji, which is the second example you gave? The first one was for Kumaras. And I don't know the story of the second example that you gave.
So we will be seeing all of them. I talked about Prachina Barhishat, Navayogitras will be taken up in the later cantos in the ninth canto. They also gave up yoga and took up to Bhakti Mataji. And then Prachina Barhishat also will be seen soon, who gave up the path of karma and took up to Bhakti.
Thank you very much. I don't know when we'll reach 9 canto, but anyway, Lakshmi Mataji, kindly unmute and ask your question.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Wonderful session, Mataji. Thank you so much. Especially this second canto is very technical. So thank you so much for taking us patiently one by one from the beginning so that we would be well equipped to accommodate the technicality. And Mataji, I have one doubt. So you said that even being at home, we would be doing sins, right? Like killing germs while cooking and all those. And while we do japa, that would be taken off. So only for Sakama Karma Yogis, they will be doing the Panchatra Yajna daily, right, Mataji? So, but there is an equivalent offense also in ours, right? There is offense number 7, if I'm right, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. So we should not do that.
Yeah.
So how can
So
we compare,
that's
Mataji?
we are talking about unknowingly committing these sins, and we are not like purposefully killing something or doing some harm to somebody, and then doing that offense. Oh, I have holy name to take care of it. No, that should not be the mentality. Anytime we should not take holy name for. See, I would have committed many things, Krishna. I mean, what do we say? Oh Radhe, oh Krishna, engage me in your service, and we want you to be happy all the time. This is our mood, right? I mean, when we want Krishna to be happy, we don't do sins. Sins is not the natural tendency of the Jivatma to commit sins. So that with that motive, we cannot do any kind of sins, Mataji. This is something that happens because we have to cook. We will be harming something. If it just happens as a default, we can't do anything about it. In such a case, the Japa Yajna will take care of it. It's not that because I'm, Krishna, I'm committing the sin because you are there to take care of me. No, that's not the mentality. That is what that offense is.
Okay.
Hope that
Okay,
helps.
Mataji. Yeah, thanks for the clarification, Mataji.
Yeah.
And nice on like whatever we do, it would be of useless things during daytime, nighttime. Today, Vaisheshika Prabhu in the morning class, he was talking about ashrama and he was mentioning the word shrama. It goes useless, whatever we do, but in ashrama, whatever we do, it will progress. That's why it's named ashrama. So just a reflection, Mataji. Thanks for bringing Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories to Srila.
Thank you for that wonderful question. I think we can end the session today. Can I request Path Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam? Are you able to close the session for today?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much for your nice class also, Mataji. Yeah,
After a
this
long
is
time, we are seeing you and getting your
yes,
darshan, Prabhuji.
Mataji. Yes, long time. Yeah, really, we are quite busy and so many responsibilities and so many things. And especially in a Saturday, what happened? There is some speaker from India, especially in Odisha. He's speaking about the Jagannath Tattva. So that is from Nairobi. Which is from India, but Nairobi people, most of the Nairobi people are joined. So that is very. Oh, we are supposed to be there. He is also initiated devotee, an ISKCON initiated devotee, but many outside people they are joined. But when I get a chance, I'll come to join your class, Mataji.
Wonderful, Prabhuji.
Thank
I
you,
know you
Mataji.
are always into services, so yeah.
Yeah. So, Mataji, thank you very much. And the second canto, especially in this first text, is very nice. Your continuation, all the things, what is the importance of hearing, and the today's the sixth verse is talking about Ante Narayana Stuta. So at the end of the life, if you're remembering, that is the most important, and that is the only come due to our practice. Otherwise, it cannot have happened. Whatever we are doing in the whole of our life, it will come at the end of the life, at the last stage. So very much, and so that this is practice of bhakti yoga, ashtanga, navada bhakti, or whatever it may be. So it is coming, and we are talking about like what is the most important of the human life, like what we are doing for the God, for the self-realization, for Krishna Prem, or spiritual activity, like especially in Krishna Prem. That is the most important. I'm just giving one small story. What happened once upon a time, a very knowledgeous person, he visited one place, one village. Then he saw in their crematorium there is a written, oh, this person name is from this year to this year. It means 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Their lifespan is like that. Is mentioned. His birth is here and he is during that. Then he was astonished. Oh, how it is possible? Only this village, the people are living only for a few years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Then he surprised. Then he went to inside the village. Then asked, but he saw there are so many old people are there living in the village. Then he asked, what happened? You are so old here, 60 years, 70 years, 100 years. What I saw in that one, whatever in the samadhi, we are putting all the name plate. Name is this one, birth and death. Only 2 years, 3 years. Then the old person of that village, the head of the village, he explained, no, we are not calculating all the lifespan of a human being. We are just calculating how many years he devoted himself with the Krishna service in a spiritual path. That is more important. If he is living 8 years, but not doing any day, then that is less. We are not calculating. If he is doing only 1 year, we are just calculating for the death. So that person was so astonished and he surprised, oh, what is the philosophy theory of this village? Then that is the thing, how the villagers are doing like that way. So that is lesson for everyone else, how our lifespan may be a banyan tree where thousands of years, or a tortoise 200 years. What is the value if there is no Krishna prem? Even is a short life like Khatwanga Maharaj, only also Prabhupada telling short life 5 minutes. If you Krishna prem, then our life has some meaning. Thank you very much, Mataji, for your nice and informative class. Also, thanks all the devotees here. I request everyone, please unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra for glorification of Her Grace Radhika Kasturi Mataji. Please join. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama,
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 Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Ancha Kalpatarurvesha
Ancha
Hare,
kalpatarurvesya
Patitanam
Vaishnavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo namo.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Her Grace Radhika Kasturi Mataji ki jai.
All
Jai.
glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Srila
Hare
Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank
Hari Bol, Hari.
you.
Thank you, Mat.
Hari Bol.